Welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Reviews, and that very vaguely said when we have the Hungarian band Sear Bliss with their latest album, the ninth one, called Heavenly Down. Now, this is a band that throughout the years have been very consistent with their style despite certain and quite a few lineup changes over the years, but they have been nailing their own style with heavy, good production and their own unique style, which you could call atmospheric black metal with quite of an epic take on the music. And it is mostly, I guess, thanks to the main guy, Andres Nagy. Sorry for pronunciation. I'm not very well versed with the Hungarian names. And since he's the only original members from the early 90s when Sear Bliss got started. Now, throughout the years, Sear Bliss have been putting out albums of quality. And often it seems is a very, very overlooked, kind of a forgotten band. I would like to say, even though I don't really prefer the term, but this is kind of an underrated band. Underrated in the sense that, for example, when you take a look at their Facebook page, you will only see a few thousand followers versus bands that are like half their age, half the amount of albums and weaker albums get quite a bit more liking. Why it is so, I don't know. Maybe it's lack of touring, maybe lack of promotion, whatever. But what I do really think is this band totally deserves more attention. And even so with this particular album in question, because if you ask me, this is one of the best ones from year 2024. I kid you not, this is really an exceptional, a great album that in my opinion deserves more attention. Now, I'll be honest with you. Even the band has been here for 30 years. There are only like half the albums which I have listened to and liked and reviewed and all. There are lots of albums which I haven't even touched, and it's only my shame. Maybe one day I will actually fix that error when I have enough time with my review albums and all. But that being said, they have good albums such as Forsaken Symphony or The Arcane Odyssey. Already, a few years old. But still, nonetheless, my point is they have done good stuff over the years. They have not changed their style too much. And in my opinion, they have the music that could really, really touch a lot of souls out there. But for some reason, they are often overlooked and one can only wonder why. Now, 6 years after their previous ones, Heavenly Down is a truly, one of the kind of a masterpiece kind of album. I haven't read this review, but now I know this is score of 100%. I kind of understand, even if I wouldn't go as far, because this is really a great album. Lasting for 44 minutes, going through eight tracks on this album, this is a journey more than just album with songs. There's always something interesting going on, whether it's the, brass instruments or whether it's a guitar or synthesizer. It's full of melancholy and sadness and at the same time epic moments, hope and all that stuff. So it's like a black metal con, really, really epic. Now there are a lot of bands you could go and use epic word, even if we're talking about late Immortal albums or Bathory's Bloodfire Death kind of things, where things are not just raw aggression or cavernous, graveyard stuff or whatever. But rarely, where we're talking about atmospheric black metal, epic really comes into play. Most bands that try to be epic manage to sound like some kind of a weird post-metal things where things are just rolling for minute after minute after minute without nothing really happening, nothing interesting at least. But with Sear Bliss, you don't really need 10 minutes tracks. I mean, look at these track lengths. It's mostly around 5 minutes, 4, 5, 6 minutes and all that stuff. And this is all you need to deliver really interesting soundscapes. I mean, there are wonderful moments with this album, and it's not like you're listening one and the same song after one another, but more so it's like a journey which goes through different set of emotions, like almost like as if you're traveling through different kind of environments, and those environments are conjuring different kind of ideas and feelings through that journey. So through that 44 minutes, which in my opinion, actually, surprisingly, feels a little bit too short, and that's not something that I say often, because I prefer short and sweet albums versus the overly lengthy ones. This one seems like, man, I could go for back and back and back again, because this album is so strong with the emotions. Maybe not catchy as individual songs or melodies and all that stuff, but if you listen to how the keyboards and guitars and even the horns are used, it's just magnificent. And on top of that, And this is something that Sear Bliss have had for a long time. Super good production, especially for this kind of music. We're not talking about the Rammstein or whatever kind of a big band level, but not really far from that either. I mean, it's really strong and it gives all the instruments enough space to be audible and having a perfect balance. On top of this, you also have good vocals. Maybe not the best in the game kind of black metal raspiness, but better than average, definitely. So there are lots of good ingredients, which then again boil into a very good album. Now, towards the end, I think they're losing the grasp, but just a little bit. And this is something that has happened previously with Sear Bliss too. So saying like the first half is probably a little bit better than the rest, but these are just minimal complaints which don't really matter that much. Overall, I would say Heavenly Down totally took me by a surprise. I was expecting something like a decent, quite nice 7 out of 10 albums, but this is closer to a 9er if you ask me. It's a really good album, and I think I'm coming back to this and also revisiting visiting for the first time some of the older ones, because now I kind of want to give a new chance to those albums that I might have, missed back in the days. And I know that there are good albums too before this one. But so far, what I've heard from Sear Bliss, which is probably only half a discography, I would say this is their best so far. And when I was checking the scores from Radio Music or RIM, this was actually rated among the best. So I don't know if there's some truth to that when I say this is their best so far for me anyway. But nonetheless, a really good album and been out since late June 2024. Check out the links provided in the description box for more information, or use your favorite streaming service platform to check out the music. And of course, if you like it, well, go buy it. Physical products for the win, if you ask me. And I guess goes without saying, this goes to my personal collection because it's so goddamn good. And so far in my top 5 of the album list for year 2024. But we don't know in which position this will end until the end of the year, so stay tuned for that. And meanwhile, go enjoy some Sear Bliss. Off you go. Bye bye.